Hello, my name is Ainsley of Forever Sky's Limit, and I recently went viral on TikTok for my theory that Raven Queen and Apple White were swapped at birth. This theory comes from little 11-year-old Ainsley reading the very first Ever After High book, The Storybook of Legends. I, to this day, remember them discussing how Apple White was the very first Snow White ever with blonde hair and how it was a little odd. And I always wondered why they brought it up. To this day, I still feel like they were trying to make some sort of important plot point, but her hair was never brought up again after that. However, there is something else odd about her hair. You may notice that she has pale skin and blonde hair. However, the traditional Snow White in her story is described as having skin as white as snow and black hair. Guess who has pale skin and black hair? Miss Raven Queen. Now, she does have purple streaks, and I don't know if the purple is from her magic. It could be dyed. Maybe it is real. But we do know that her natural hair color is black. And I always thought, when I was younger, that Raven Queen looked more like Snow White's daughter than Apple White. But is there any physical evidence to back up Apple White being the evil queen's daughter? In fact, there is. Observe this screenshot from Ever After High's Dragon Games of a young Snow White and the evil queen on their dragons. Notice, Snow White has her black hair, while the evil queen has a platinum blonde hair, similar to Apple's. Now, the evil queen does have some streaks of purple in her hair. However, we could just assume, like Raven, maybe it's due to her magic, or maybe she dyed those purple streaks. It's not unusual. Many of the girls at Ever After High have colored streaks. I think many of us have just assumed that when she was young, the evil queen looked like Mira Shards, as Mira Shards is who the evil queen disguises herself as when she comes to Ever After High. However, the Brothers Grimm knows what the evil queen looks like, and if they saw a young version of the evil queen walking around Ever After High, don't you think they'd be suspicious? Mira Shards is a completely made-up persona. She does not really look like the evil queen. And when the evil queen is older, she does kind of wear her hair inside her headdress, so we can't really see it, but I believe it is platinum blonde. Also, here is a picture from the graphic novel, The Class of Classics, that shows the evil queen. As you can see, she does have light hair. In fact, I will put the TikTok comment up here. Somebody actually commented on my TikTok that in The Class of Classics, she is described as having platinum blonde hair by her roommate, Kitty Cheshire, which again, I think it's odd that we're just bringing up the fact that Apple has blonde hair and the fact that the evil queen has platinum blonde hair like it's some sort of significant plot point. And again, thank you for this TikTok comment because I did not read that graphic novel. I just think it's a little weird. So besides the physical similarities, is there any other evidence to support this theory? Well, in fact, there is. Let's get on to the behavioral similarities. Allow me to play a clip from you from one of the earlier Ever After High YouTube episodes.
Hey, Apple, could you not sing in the morning? Or ever?
Oh, you big kidder. Mirror, mirror, so smart and cool. Who's the fairest at this school?
You are Apple White.
Greatest mirror ever. I'm gonna burn.
So, in this clip, Apple is acting exactly like how the evil queen is supposed to act. She is the one talking to the mirror, not Raven. Please explain to me where in Snow White's Destiny she is supposed to talk to a mirror like that. Apple White has the natural tendencies of a born evil queen. Let's discuss how Apple acts in Dragon Games. In Dragon Games, we have this scene. I'll just show a picture of it, where the evil queen is basically convincing Apple to go along with her plan so that she doesn't reveal that Apple broke her out of the mirror. I feel like if Applewhite had the natural tendencies of a true Snow White, she would not let the evil queen manipulate her like this. I feel like because the evil queen is actually Apple's real mom, she is able to manipulate Apple and get her to do her bidding, while she is not able to manipulate Raven. Hey, hi, this is Editing Ainsley. So I just want to point out something that I missed, and that is at the end of the movie, the evil queen does manipulate Raven to come over to her side, but the only reason Raven does this is to save everyone, because she thinks this is the only way to get the evil queen to leave ever after and leave everybody else alone, is if Raven turns evil. In contrast, in the beginning of the movie, when Apple helps the evil queen, she doesn't do this to save any of her friends. It's because if she doesn't help the evil queen is going to reveal that Apple broke the mirror, and then Apple's going to get in trouble. And even if she doesn't get in trouble, get detention or whatever, everybody's going to think less of her. So in a way, the only reason Apple is able to be manipulated is to protect her own reputation, whereas the reason Raven is able to be manipulated is because she cares so much for her friends out of the goodness of her heart. So just think a little bit about that. Throughout the series, Apple's push for her destiny is caused by two things. First of all, she tells Raven and everybody else she wants to follow her destiny because if they don't follow her destiny, she's afraid of what will happen to everybody. The second reason is just because she wants her destiny. She wants her happily ever after. But why does she want her happily ever after? Well, it's because she will get fame and glory. She will become the queen of the realm, and she will have everyone's attention, and everyone will know she is the greatest. And that power is just something the evil queen naturally desires. Now, let's talk about Raven's natural inclinations. I just want to say, disclaimer, I am not saying that Apple is not outgoing, she is not friendly. No, in fact, her character improves in that aspect throughout the series. She becomes more outgoing, she becomes more understanding of why her friends don't want to follow their destinies, even if she wants to. So I'm not saying that Apple isn't a good person. I just want to point out that from the beginning, Raven is very naturally a good person. So, Raven does not want to sign the Storybook of Legends, yet in two instances, she is willing to. The first is in Throne Coming, where Milton Grimm convinces her that the world will end if she doesn't sign the Storybook of Legends. She's instantly like, I gotta sign this. I don't want there to be an apocalypse. The second time is in Way to Wonderland. She signs the Storybook of Legend to get her full power potential so she can save her friends. In that moment, she doesn't even really have time to think. She just does it because it's the right thing to do. And then thirdly, in Dragon Games, she is literally willing to go be evil with her supposed mother so that the evil queen will stop tormenting Ever After High. Again, I also want to point out something from the books that I had forgotten about that, again, the same lovely commenter from TikTok pointed out, and that is that in the books there's this thing called a topsy-turvy spell from Wonderland that makes the characters act the opposite of how they do, and she thinks that this is what happened to the characters in Spring Unsprung. So in Spring Unsprung, when Apple reads the fake Storybook of Legends, she gets kind of cursed and she starts acting really evil. Now, other people get cursed, but they don't act as evil as she does. She's willing to ruin everything. She completely blocks off the Well of Wonder. She basically, just destroys Ever After High. So this may show you that her natural inclination is to act more evil. I also do want to point out that under this spell, when Daring reads it, he becomes more cowardly and scared, which I think is kind of his true personality, as now we know that the one saving everybody from dragons and doing all the heroic acts was actually Darling, and Daring was just getting all the credit for it, so he's actually more cowardly than people think. Okay, we're getting on to the next piece of evidence, and this is how Milton Grimm acts towards Applewhite. He is very much always up in her face, come on, we gotta convince Raven to follow her destiny. Especially here in this scene, he's very much on her side. He's very much pushing her. However, he doesn't really care about the other fairy tales. Duchess doesn't want to follow her destiny. He literally, does not care. I think even when Ashlyn is confirmed to be dating Hunter, he doesn't say anything. So why are you just so concerned about Apple and Raven? I think it's because he knows they were swapped at birth and he doesn't want anybody to know, so he's trying to get them to follow the destinies he wants them to follow so that nobody gets in trouble for swapping them at birth. I think it was the brothers Grimm who swapped them, both Milton Grimm and Giles Grimm. However, as we know, Giles Grimm is more willing to let people follow their own hearts rather than their fairy tale destinies than his brother. So, when Ever After High starts, Giles Grimm is living in the basement of Ever After High, and he is sentenced to speak Riddlish. In fact, it is said he is cursed by his brother, but I don't think his brother really has magical powers, so I think it's more that his brother had Baba Yaga curse him to speak Riddlish. And the reason that they give for this is, again, Milton Grimm didn't want Giles Grimm informing people that they didn't have to follow their fairy tale destinies. However, before Raven gives her big speech at Legacy Day where she's like, I'm gonna follow my own destiny, nobody was really fighting against following their own destinies. So I think the real reason him and Milton got in an argument and the reason he was cursed to speak Riddlish is because he knew that Apple and Raven were swapped at birth and he was thinking about telling them, and Milton Grimm had him cursed to speak Riddlish so that he couldn't tell them. And I think when he becomes uncursed in Throne Coming, he doesn't actually ever tell them, just because by that point he's like, you know what, they're happy, they're doing what they want, I'm not gonna tell them. So that's what I think. Now, I am going to explain how I think this went down. But to do this, we are going to have to go to a different universe, and that is the Monster High universe. So, if you don't know, Ever After High and Monster High were originally supposed to end with a crossover, and Ever After High really never got its conclusion, and I feel like if this theory is true, it would have been something addressed in its conclusion, which again was supposed to be a crossover from Monster High. There is so much evidence that they're in the same universe. Again, Cupid literally comes to Ever After High from Monster High, so it's not a question that they're in the same universe. And we need to look at Monster High's 13 Wishes. This is the first place that there were indications of Ever After High in the Monster High universe. Let me just play a clip for you from 13 Wishes.
It's a genealogy written by the Brothers Grimm. Once upon a time, in a strange and distant land,
mystery and magic ruled. It was the age of the genie. Gigi loved being a genie, granting wishes to her finders, making their dreams come true. But something was missing. When the 13 wishes were granted, she returned to her lantern alone. Gigi was lonely. One of the Brothers Grimm wanted to help. He whispered an idea into the ear of the next finder, who then made a wish for Gigi. It was during a full eclipse that the magic of the wish transformed Gigi's shadow into Wisp. Always together, they were like sisters. But Wisp longed to be more than just a shadow. She wanted to be a genie too. She grew jealous of Gigi's power. Wisp discovered that she was not bound by the rules of the lantern. Wisp began whispering into the ears of the finders, convincing them to use their wishes to serve her own needs. The Brothers Grimm learned of this.
Now that we have seen this clip from Monster High's 13 Wishes, let me explain what I think happened. I think Gigi was a student at Ever After High, and when she graduated, her fairy tale destiny was to become the genie in the lamp. Upon becoming the genie in the lamp, she was lonely as she had to spend hundreds of years in the lamp alone. And being more compassionate than his brother Milton, Giles Grimm felt bad for her and whispered into the ear of the finder of the lamp to wish for Wisp to be created. Now, Wisp is created out of Gigi's shadow. Now, Wisp eventually became jealous and started whispering bad wishes into the ears of the finders of the lamps. They would wish these bad wishes, and Gigi would have to make them come true. I think that one of these bad wishes was for Apple and Raven to have their powers swapped. So, let's pretend Snow White has baby Raven Queen. Evil Queen has baby Apple White. Apple White has powers. But the wish makes them swap powers, so now baby Raven has powers. Now, Giles Grimm was responsible for creating Wisp, who caused this all to happen. So the brothers Grimm, to cover this up, have to swap the babies. Now, as Snow White is queen of the realm, she is very mad about her baby having powers, and this cannot happen. So they swap the girls to cover this up. The evil queen, I don't think she's really happy about this. I think Snow White is kind of happy about it. If you notice how the evil queen acts in Dragon games, she's just kind of like annoyed about the whole situation because Raven's not doing what she tells her, but Apple's doing what Snow White tells her. So I think the evil queen was forced into this. I think the brothers Grimm and Snow White were all for swapping them, but the evil queen wasn't. But she couldn't really do anything about it because at that point she wasn't in the mirror prison, but I think she was just in regular prison, and then she got put in the mirror prison after she escaped in Cursed Wonderland. So yeah, they're swapped. Oops. Okay, so they're swapped. Then years go by, the girls start to grow up, and Giles Grimm feels bad because, again, this whole situation is his fault. He created Wisp, and they had to be swapped. And he's thinking about telling the girls what their true destinies are. But Milton and Snow White, they cannot let this happen. So that is when Giles Grimm is sent to the basement and cursed to speak only Ridley. Hello, so when I originally filmed this video, my battery died, so I didn't get to say this, but thank you all for watching the video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I really want to hear what you think about this theory, so leave any thoughts in the comment section. If you all came from my TikTok, I'm so thankful. If you didn't, please go check out my TikTok because the full discussion is on there. This is where I came up with the whole theory. You can join the conversation over there. My Instagram will also be linked below. Thank you guys.